Welcome to Death Valley here in South Carolina at Clemson Memorial Stadium, the site for a very crucial SEC showdown between the Alabama Crimson Tide and the Clemson Tigers. I'm David Roy, and in the booth with me tonight, my broadcast partner, Matt Peck. And Matt, it's a first conference game for both these teams, and it's a big one because the winner obviously takes a step closer to being able to attain a playoff berth, and it all starts right here tonight.
Well, the SEC's a bloodbath every season. It never seems to change. So, obviously, you want to get off on the right foot, and Alabama coming into a spot where Clemson has not lost a game in a long time.
Well, the return out to the 12-yard line, and that is where Alabama will begin this drive. And you mentioned Clemson not having lost a game in a long time. It has been 6 weeks, 6 games, I should say, since Clemson last lost. They're on a 6-game winning streak, and Alabama trying to dash those hopes tonight. And the early shot from Doug Day, man, it falls incomplete.
Well, he tries to throw the high ball to his receiver there on the sideline, just not able to quite complete it. He's going empty backfield again.
Day on second down, pass over the middle, and it is a rocket, but unable to hold on to it is Trip Warren, the former Buckeye.
Well, I tell you what, these receivers are going to have to help Day out a little bit. That first ball was a little iffy. That was a well-delivered football.
Out of the gun, Day, pass over the middle. This one a laser, and it is complete. Zach Stone over the middle in a 22-yard gain.
All right, Doug Day gets his first completion. It's a big 22-yarder with the slant route there to Zach Stone, one of the trio of big-name receivers that Alabama has here. And, it took them to a third down, but they picked up their first and see if Alabama can keep this ball moving.
Out to the Clemson 46-yard line, out across midfield, and the give here, Jake Moon, his first carry of the night, trying to cut it back to the inside. What he didn't realize was there was a wall of human being there named Bill McAllister.
Yeah, big Bill McAllister, he does a good job keeping his head on the swivel there, watching, making sure the receiver, the running back doesn't cut back towards him and then catches him when he does.
5-step drop, Day able to find Trip Warren on the sideline. So 3rd and 1, and Matt, this Alabama offense, a little slow getting going last week against Oregon, but they were able to make it a game late. They just fell short.
Well, they've got a high-powered passing attack, David. They've got a decent way to split their carries up here, but they just got to get going a little earlier.
Well, here the give, Moon, and he's able to convert on 3rd down here. So a new set of downs as Jake Moon gets 3 yards on his second carry of the night.
And Jake Moon has turned into a pretty good running back here in the CFSL. If you don't believe me, just ask him. He'll tell you.
Last week, the most carries he's ever had in a game, picking up 24. Up until then, he never had more than 11 carries in a game as Moon off the right side. And a pretty good run here. It's another 10-yard pickup here for this Alabama offense.
It's a nice job there of following his blocking. He does a good job. Lets the block sit up in front of him and then picks up what he's able to. He ends up getting another first down for the Crimson Tide.
Out of the gun, Warren, the receiver in motion. He'll set up in the slot on the left as Day. Long pass, but it is caught by Trip Warren down inside the 10.
And Trip Warren loses his footing there a little bit at the end of that run. I think he could have got at least a few more yards, maybe tried to fight his way into the end zone, but ends up stepping out of bounds a little early there. So, going to set up 1st and goal for the Tide here, but as we saw last week, this Clemson defense gets a little stingy in the red zone.
Yeah, Texas struggled down inside the 10-yard line, and they really struggled to push it in. Their points mainly coming from outside the 20-yard line as Day, quick pass over the middle. It is caught. Zach Stone down to the 1.
Oh, the big receiver there, Zach Stone, comes down with it, able to fight his way just about, right at the 1-yard line. Again, wouldn't mind seeing a run with Moon here. They've got the line spread out a little bit. 2
tight ends to the right, but it's a 3-step drop. Day puts it through the uprights. You don't get points that way. You get points if you cross the goal line.
No, it's that's just way too big of a target to give you points just to throw it through.
Pistol set, 2 tight ends to the left in the give. Moon denied. Trying to fight his way in, but in his path, Caleb Braden.
Well, Braden does a good job of just sitting on that run and not letting him go to it. Alabama's going for it, 4th and goal.
They have said coming into this game that they want to be the ones to knock down Clemson a peg, and they're coming out strong. The give, Carter slips a tackle, slips a second and a third, but he can't get across the goal line. Loss of 2, and Clemson takes over from their own 5.
The run by Zachary Carter right there reminded me of another Carter that we used to have here in the CFSL several seasons ago, the way he was breaking those tackles. But Clemson does a great job of swarming to the football. Alabama may regret not taking the points right there.
Well, Clemson is backed up at their own 3, and they will start play fake. Slay, quick pass over the middle, and it is caught. Alan Schwartz able to get out across for the first down.
And there's the chemical dependency tiger on the sidelines, the mascot for the Clemson Tigers.
First down and 10. Slay off the play fake. Pressure in his face, and getting home the former Clemson Tiger, Corey Dobbins, with his first sack of the night.
Well, it comes into Will Slay there on that play. It says, allow me to reintroduce myself. Takes him down behind the line, bringing up a big 2nd and 17 here. That's a huge play for this Alabama defense, especially this deep in Clemson territory.
Dobbins a week ago had 6 tackles, 3 for loss, and a pair of sacks. He's already got one here tonight as they try to set the halfback screen. Dane Jones bottled up back inside the 5-yard line, and the Alabama defense, and Alabama as a whole, Matt, they have said all week they want to be the team that knocks down Clemson a peg. They want to be the team that ends the 6-game winning streak, and they have come to play early.
Well, if this defense is flying all over the field right now, and we have seen this sometimes that Clemson seems to sometimes takes a minute to get warmed up and to get into the flow of the game. Alabama making it tough on them right now.
3rd and 19, Slay under duress, and he's able to avoid the safety. Jackson Addock was bearing down on him.
Addock had him dead to rights, and Will Slade just made a great heads-up play just to get rid of it. Not to get, like you said, not to give up the safety. They're going to punt and give Alabama a really good field position here.
This will be fielded from the Clemson 46-yard line and bringing it down inside to the 35-yard line. Emilio Gonzalez, and that is where this Alabama offense will set up shot. And they just had a 12-play drive. They couldn't get it into the end zone. Now they've got a much shorter field to work with.
They have a much shorter field to work with. The problem is it's still the same defense on the other side of the ball.
We'll see if this second drive yields better results as Day from the gun in an empty backfield, able to check it down, finding Emilio Gonzalez, and he will get 8 yards.
Emilio Gonzalez plays both ways, also plays cornerback on defense, getting some looks here on offense at wide receiver. Does a good job picking up 8 yards there.
2nd down and 2 for an Alabama offense that a season ago was very much the opposite of what we're seeing tonight, Matt. It was the triple option approach. It was very much a run-based offense. Well, so far, it's been the opposite of that. They're airing it out as Jake Moon, only his 3rd carry of the night. And he's probably wishing he could have that one back because in the backfield, bringing him down was Ty Perry.
Yeah, Ty Perry beat him to the punch there, and they didn't let him get back to the line of scrimmage. 3rd and 6 for Alabama here. I expect to see Day air it out again.
Single back set, Day under center. Going to motion the tight end, Carson Price, from right to left. 3-step drop, Day over the middle, and able to hold on for the first down, Joe Idle.
Well, Joe Idle, that second 5-star receiver for the Alabama Crimson Tide, getting his first catch of the day. It's a huge one for a first down.
6 of 9 on the night so far is Day. And here they bring the fullback into the backfield off the motion. The give, Moon trying to get outside, spinning off 2 tackles, but it is Josh Clayton who finally brings him down.
Well, Clayton finally comes in, gets there, gets him on cleanup duty. Moon does a good job trying to fight his way through it, but just too many Tigers, too many orange jerseys around him, nowhere for him to go.
The 3rd guy there is the one who finally brought him down, and that brings up a long 2nd and 11. The receivers bunched in tight to the formation. Day throwing short left side and fighting to turn upfield at Zach Stone. He'll get 6 yards. So a very manageable and a very medium 3rd down.
Well, like Mike likes to talk about that Bill Walsh idea on those long 2nd downs. Pick up half of it, get you a whole lot closer on 3rd down.
Pistol set now. Alabama very efficient on 3rd down. They're 3 of 4 so far. Day's going to tuck and a run, though, and maybe he'll advise because he ran right into Dan Norris.
Well, Dan Norris just wrapped him up. I think even Clemson was a little surprised that Day took off like that because Norris just kind of slung his arms out there and tried to grab a hold of him. Was able to pull him down, stop him. 4th and 5. should definitely see the field goal unit come out here. Alabama's got to take points where they can get them.
5th sack of the season there for Dan Norris, and on cue, Donald Lewis comes out. This will be a 35-yard field goal attempt, and he puts it through. Alabama on the board first.
Well, Alabama gets their points there. Now it's 3-0. They had a really good series on defense against Clemson's first offense possession. Let's see what Clemson does. Let's see if they clean that offense up a little bit.
Well, shrugging off tackles in the return game is Laird Olive, and pretty good return there by Clemson. Olive trying to get the edge and maybe do what Blaze Gunner did in the opening game.
He was trying to, but he took way too many shots before he was able to get free to get to the outside.
So they'll start with Jones being the deep back, Slay out of the gun, play fake. Slay with plenty of time, but nothing open downfield. He has to throw it away.
All right, Alabama doing a good job right now in coverage, and they're kind of frustrating Will Slay here early in this game because A, they're bringing pressure, and B, he's not finding anybody to get the ball to.
Slay on 2nd and 10, going short and fighting to pick up the first down. He'll get it. That's Dustin Ellis.
Ellis does a good job there. Alabama brought the blitz on that play. Ellis was able to leak out underneath the coverage and get open. Will Slay does a good job of recognizing the play, seeing where the opening's going to be at.
Out to the 43-yard line, and from the right hash, out of the gun, Slay with Jones offset to his right, pressure coming, and the swing route out for Dane Jones gets him out to about the 49-yard line. Richie Carrion's the one who came down and made the stop, and Carrion, he had an interception last week. Gonzalez had an interception last week. Slay's got to be careful.
Absolutely, and Slay, these corners for Alabama have proven that they're good, so Slay, he's got to keep it to the inside if he can.
Jones getting the carry here, and he's able to turn the corner, getting 8 yards, picking up the first down, and Clemson is across midfield and into Alabama territory.
Okay, and this is the Clemson we're used to seeing, where Will Slay sits back and tries to read the defense and decide what to run.
Quick pass underneath, right side, and a big hit dished out on C.J. Banks.
Absolutely, and here's the thing, is that what this Clemson offense is so good at doing is they start to recognize tendencies, they start to recognize patterns and what the defense looks like. And Will Slay has become an expert here in his senior season at finding exactly what he needs to do to advance the ball. And as the game goes on, it seems like he just gets better.
Slay to throw on 2nd down, and a swing route again for Dane Jones, but it only gets a yard. So 3rd and 3 for this Clemson offense.
All right, 3rd and 3. Now Alabama, they made their hay on defense on the first series by getting pressure on Will Slay. I think they need to go back to that.
They run the speed option in the pitch. Dane Jones able to turn the edge and get it down inside the 30 before he's stopped by David Ware.
Well, David Ware does a good job just knocking him out of bounds there. But this offense, as much as I've talked about Will Slay, it runs very much through Dane Jones. If Dane Jones is going, you got a hard time stopping Clemson.
Jones will take a breather on the sideline. Clayton spells him here on 1st and 10. They go right to him on the angle route. Josh Clayton, not quite enough for a first down, but he's pretty darn close.
Well, he does a good job coming straight in off the sideline as a second-string halfback and getting action right there on his first play. Does a nice job of hauling that thing in. Zachary Carter does a really good job of holding him short of the first down. But, hey, man, Clemson, this second drive looks nothing like that first one did.
Carter trying to knock the ball free out of Josh Clayton's hands. It was a big hit being dished out, but Clayton, he holds on. So 2nd and short, and Franklin split out wide to the left here, out into the slot as Slay pressure up the middle, and he has to find Joseph Franklin underneath for the first down.
Well, it's a great concept there. Run everybody deep and then just leak somebody out underneath to pick up the first down. It's a well-run play by Clemson, and especially it looked like they knew that the pressure was coming.
Out of the gun, 2-by-2 look. Slay against a 4-man rush, steps up, but he has to throw it away. The pass rush, trying to get to him this time, 2nd down.
Well, it's a good job there by Slade. Nothing's there. Again, pressure's coming in. Just heat it, get rid of it, go into 2nd and 10.
Slay running the speed option again to the short side, dancing around in the backfield, and ultimately all he does is get back to the line of scrimmage as Zachary Carter comes up with his 3rd tackle.
Well, it looked to me like he thought he had the pitch. He thought that was what he was doing. And then all of a sudden the pitch man was covered, so he tried to reverse course, and Zachary Carter's there to stop him.
3rd and 10, Slay throwing to the end zone, and it is dropped. He had Mike Ruby alone in the back of the end zone, but he couldn't hold on, and so out comes Frazier Flores for a 31-yard field goal attempt.
That's a pretty big stand there by the Alabama defense, and it's just an unfortunate drop for the Clemson Tigers. Ruby wasn't able to haul that in because it was a pretty good pass. But Clemson's going to have to settle for the field goal, tie this ball game up at 3-3. With a minute left here in the first, I think it's safe to say that Alabama came to play. I also think it's safe to say that Clemson is staying ready to play.
Well, a 12-play drive by Clemson, but ultimately they cannot even really get into the red zone here with that drive. Had some problems being able to hover around there. Meanwhile, Alabama, their first drive, they get down inside the 5, they go for it on 4th down, then they can't punch it in. The second drive, they get into the red zone, but then they stall out and they have to kick a field goal. So we'll see what this third drive does for them as they go short and to the right and able to get the first down as Joe Idle for a gain of 11.
Well, and if you're Clemson's defense right now, you cannot allow Joe Idle to get that open. I understand you got Dedrick Law out there. He's going to be probably setting up most of the time on Zach Stone, Joe Idle, one of the two. But that time, nobody was on Idle.
Still set the give. Moon to the right side, and he'll get a couple yards.
Absolutely. Moon, again, not putting up huge numbers, 7 rushes, only 10 yards so far. But Alabama's being smart about this and keeping the Clemson defense honest.
Pistol sent, going right back to Jake Moon, trying to get him outside to the right. He shrugs off Bill McAllister, which is not an easy feat. But then he's brought down immediately by Deontay Shields.
All right, well, 3rd and 8. Much longer third down than you like if you're Alabama, but you've got the weapons on the outside. You got to just trust your pass protection, to keep you upright here.
Stone coming in motion, try to set the halfback screen for Moon. They get it to him. Jake Moon unable to do a whole lot. And so when we come back and start the second quarter, it's 4th and 5 for the Crimson Tide. All tied up at 3 apiece. You're watching CFSL on PX1 Sports on YouTube Live. Start of the second quarter, and it'll start with an Alabama punt being fielded from the 17-yard line and looking for the return. Laird Olive able to get it out to about the 29-yard line. And so, Matt, that first quarter very much feeling each other out, very much feeling like a heavyweight fight as both offenses and defenses getting their licks in.
Yeah, it feels like both these teams right now are seeing what they can get away with to a certain extent without, showing their entire hand yet. I think both these ADs, Clutch and David Ware, both knew coming into this game that they were going against a pretty good defense. They were going to get somebody who's going to hit them in the mouth. So again, they're testing the waters. They're seeing what'll work and what won't.
The wide receiver screen on first down yields only a couple of yards. So here they try to set up the halfback screen. That Alabama pass rush got in there, forcing Slay to throw it away. Matt, you said that's a big key for Alabama.
Well, Corey Dobbins and Jackson Addock, Will Stills, and William Huddleston, man, they are going to be getting after Slay all night long. He's going to have to keep his head on the swivel. He's going to have to pay attention to what's going on around him.
3rd and 8. Slay to throw. Blitz comes, and it is tipped at the line. Jones went up to catch it, but it ultimately falls incomplete. Corey Dobbins, the one who went up to tip it at the line.
Yeah, he popped that thing up in the air. Halfway thought a defender might come down with that thing, which would have been disastrous for Clemson.
Well, Dane Jones was there, and he tried to catch it and maybe make something out of it. But at the end of the day, it's a 3 and out. And on the return for Alabama, Emilio Gonzalez able to get it out to about the 47-yard line. And so the first drive of the second quarter here for the Crimson Tide. And they start with a run. Jake Moon bottled up behind the line of scrimmage.
Well, and Jake Moon just having a hard time right now. He had the one good 10-yard run, but he's way back on his yardage now because all these times that Clemson is catching him behind the line, and the speed of this Clemson defense is not really allowing him to get anywhere.
2nd and 13 here. Pistol sent, trips to the right. The give, Moon trying to work the left side again, and yet again he is turned away. This time Josh Clayton in there with Jake Maddox.
Well, Clayton and Maddox come in. Moon had a lead blocker, but that lead blocker got obliterated by those two guys, and then they proceeded to knock Moon sideways.
From the gun, halfback screen, Jake Moon trying to turn up field, and not much going for him there. He'll get 4 yards, and so Matt, that was a very conservative Alabama drive, and one that ends with a punt trying to pin Clemson deep in their own end.
Okay, I understand testing the waters, and I understand seeing how things are going, but if that's you're going to be your game plan going forward, is to just run, screen, you're not going to get very far on this Clemson defense. They are too fast and too physical.
So back-to-back punts, back-to-back 3-and-outs, rather, for this Alabama offense, as Clemson will start from their own 25-yard line following the return by Laird Olive. And Slay on the quarterback keeper gets a couple of yards out of it, but not much more.
Not much more, because Jeremy Mosley comes up and just lowers the boom on Will Slay. Nice play there by Mosley. He's been here at Alabama for quite a while as a junior this year, 5-star, middle linebacker, and he's made a name for himself here.
7 tackles and a tackle for a loss with the numbers that he put up a week ago against Oregon. As the pressure gets through, Mosley nearly got the sack. Forced Slay to have to check it down to Jones, and Jones able to get pretty good yardage out of it. He got a few yards there and makes it 3rd and 3.
Well, he got the check down away, so that's a credit to Will Slay. 3rd and 3 is much more manageable for Clemson.
Run the speed option. Slay has to keep it. Shrugs off 1, but not 2, as Zachary Carter brings him down. Able to get the first down, but not a lot for him, as Clemson is really having to fight for every yard that they're getting.
Alabama is buckled down on defense. You got to give them credit. They're not giving away anything easy right now, and they are sending the heat when it comes to Will Slay.
Slay to throw, pressure up the middle. He finds an underneath route for Joseph Franklin. Franklin there, able to turn upfield. He gets the first down, only a 2nd catch, but it's a big one.
I think if you're Clemson right now, what you've got to concentrate on is if you know Alabama's going to bring this kind of pressure, you got to let the pressure come and just throw underneath the zone that's behind it.
Slay, he's going to go short this time for Dorian Chase Miller. First time we're calling him out tonight as he makes his first grab here in the 2nd quarter.
Dorian Chase Miller is the kind of guy, if he gets his hands on the ball at any point in the game, that he can take it to the house, So Alabama's done a good job of holding him back so far, but he gets his first touch.
Well, Slay nearly got sacked, and then he puts one up, and Dorian Chase Miller reaches up and plucks it out of midair with one hand.
He looked like he just chunked it up, and DCM was like, hey, no problem, I've got this. Don't worry about it. I know there are 3 defenders around me, but I'm going to pull it down.
With one hand.
Yeah.
As Dane Jones on the counter run spins his way down inside the 10.
All right, and now Clemson's starting to roll. They got the big play from the DCM one-handed catch. Now all of a sudden this Clemson offense seems like they've got a little more, motivation behind them here.
Down to the 9-yard line to give up the middle. Josh Clayton as he spells Dane Jones on first down. He'll get 4, moving it down to about the 5-yard line.
All right, well, and it's pretty close here in total yards. Clemson with 130, Alabama with 99, but Clemson's threatening to put the first touchdown of the game on the board here.
They keep Jones in the backfield, but they're going to bring the receiver in motion, and the Alabama defense not fooled. Clayton got the carry, but he is dropped behind the line of scrimmage by the former Clemson Tiger and Corey Dobbins.
Dobbins is making he's trying to have a big game here against his former team. 3rd and goal here. They drove him backwards. Now they're ball just on the 6-yard line. Will Slay, no telling what he's going to pull out of his hat here.
2 backs in the backfield, and Slay trying to set the halfback screen here. Dane Jones. He is turned away. He will lose a yard. And now we'll likely see Frazier Flores.
I imagine Flores is going to come out and kick his 2nd field goal of the night. This Alabama defense, and I can't say enough for how bad they are, how well they're standing up in the red zone against this Clemson offense. Clemson's kind of getting a dose of what they're used to dishing out every week.
Very reminiscent to the way Clemson's defense performed a week ago against Texas in the opener, as the field goal is good courtesy of Frazier Flores. And so Clemson, believe it or not, and as surprising as that may be to many fans, this is their first lead of the night midway through the 2nd quarter.
Alabama's done a good job, especially on defense.
Trip Warren nearly got the edge here as he gets it out to the 34-yard line.
Well, in Alabama, what I'm looking from them on this drive is more consistency on offense. I do want you to keep Moon involved in the game, but you got to start stretching the field a little bit here.
Well, here they go to Moon, outside to the right. Jake Moon throws out a stiff arm. Moon down the right sideline and out across to midfield.
And it's those quick plays to Moon. You know what I'm saying? Those inside zones, those outside zone type plays where he gets the ball and he's gone. that's more in his wheelhouse than expecting him to be able just to break it to the outside and string the defense out and beat him to the corner. In this case, he's ahead of the defense.
Ty Perry was the one who was there initially and got stiff-armed out of the way of Jake Moon as Day now goes under center, and they're going to go to the hot-handed Moon, who cuts it upfield, and he'll get 7 yards.
All right, Jake Moon, if he gets going, he could be a big boon to this Alabama Crimson Tide offense. He had 100 rushing yards last week in the loss to Oregon. If they can get him going, it's going to help him a lot.
2nd and 3. Read option keeper, Day, able to pick up the first down with his legs.
Yeah, and Doug Day not going to break any land speed records. I don't believe so, but he does what he needs to do right there, picks up what he has to, picks up the first.
First down and 10 to go. Ball spotted at the Clemson 37-yard line. Day in the gun. And they go right back to the ground game. Moon back to the line of scrimmage as Deontay Shields slipped through to triple up.
Well, Shields does a good job getting back there. Moon does a good job of slipping by him, but he loses his footing and is not able to hold on.
Single back set. Carter checks into the backfield here on 2nd and 10. 3-step drop. Day going short left side, and Stone wrapped up quickly by Dedrick Law, but it's 3rd and 5.
All right, 3rd and 5. Now, Alabama, they've looked decent on 3rd down, I believe, up until this point. 3rd and 7, almost 500, but they really need to convert here if they can.
Day goes short to the right side. There's Emilio Gonzalez for the first down out to about the 25-yard line, and a new set of downs for the Crimson Tide.
You got to like it when the cornerback playing wide receiver just lowers his head and goes in, knowing that he's going to take the contact.
Day to throw, going to take it a run instead right up the middle, and they're going to call it a sack for a loss of 2. Ty Perry, the one who comes downhill. Agree on, but they're going to give it to Dan Norris.
Well, they kind of everybody got a hold of him. Both of them got a hold of him right there. But, again, the less Doug Day has to use his legs, I think, in this game, the better off Alabama's going to be. His arm is that's the moneymaker for Doug Day.
Single back set, long, 2nd down. Price, the tight end, in motion here from left to right. 5-step drop. Day, pressure coming, and he has to throw it away. Felt Dan Norris coming off that right side.
Well, Norris, went way outside on that rush and was about to, get home today. Day had to cut loose of that quicker than he wanted to. Long 3rd down for the Tide.
On the gun, Day going halfback screen here, and Moon dropped for a loss of 3 by Dedrick Law.
And this is, and this is going to bring the Alabama field goal unit out, and it's, going to be a pretty long field goal here for them. Not a crazy one.
Yeah.
But this is reminiscent of one of those defensive battles that we like to see, David, where it's like everybody just keeps throwing punch and counter punch, and the best you can get out of it is 3.
This will be a 48-yard field goal attempt for Donna Lewis, and Lewis able to keep pace with Frazier Flores on the other side, and we're all tied up at 6 with 2:02 to play in a half.
Yeah, and there may be guys out there in the audience tonight who are like, man, where are the fireworks? Where's the scoring? Where's the this? You're seeing the fireworks. They're just happening on the other side of the ball right now.
The defense is having a night here. You look at the two offenses, and neither one of them has been able to move very well. Both offenses, for the number of plays that they have run, neither of them have put up more than 150 yards here tonight as they go wide receiver screen. Slay and Dustin Ellis gets a couple yards before taking the timeout.
Well, as I was saying about the unstoppable force and the immovable object, but right now we've got 2 stoppable forces going against immovable objects.
Halfback screen here to Dane Jones to the other side. Jones with some room to run is able to roll his way across for the first down.
Well, they catch Alabama in pressure right there, and that little offset pass to the wide side of the field. Jones able to pick up the first.
Slay out of an empty backfield here. Clemson trying to take the kid gloves off. They go short over the middle. Ellis slips a tackle and then is dropped by Jeremy Mosley.
Yeah, Mosley, again, he's handing out painting to anybody who comes in his area. It does exactly that. I mean, that's just he watched the man's knees buckle when he falls to hit the ground. Mosley, he's not taking prisoners tonight.
5 tackles, 2 tackles for a loss here tonight as Coach Shaw in the chat saying defense ain't making him any money as the over-under for tonight was 68.5, and several took the over as Mike Ruby comes over the middle for a first down.
Yes, and again, Clemson doing what, again, trying to adjust, trying to read this Alabama defense and go underneath and stay away from some of those big hitters.
Slay going short to the right side in airtight coverage by Jeremy Mosley as Clemson takes another timeout.
Yeah, and Alan Schwartz, the second tight end on the depth chart right there, he was able to haul the ball in, but not able to do much else with it.
Slay trying to scramble out of trouble, spinning out of the pocket, and then slides, seeing the approaching David Ware.
Yeah, Ware was coming in, honed in, going to try to knock him sideways, and Will Slay does the smart thing, gets out of the way.
Slay to throw, 3rd and 2, taking a shot, left side, finds Dorian Chase-Miller, who breaks a tackle, and our first touchdown of the night.
Well, it just busted coverage by the Alabama Crimson Tide defense, and Dorian Chase-Miller gets in between them there, catches it. Alabama not able to catch up quick enough because once Dorian Chase-Miller gets down that sideline, it's kind of, it's Katie bar the door for you right there. Clemson going to take the 7-point lead here. Alabama, 39 seconds left on the clock. Not a lot of time for them to do anything with it here.
This is old school football. This is about what you would expect out of an SEC game because the defenses are clicking, and our first touchdown of the night came with 39 seconds to go in the opening half.
Yeah, it's taken them a long time to get on the board here, and it's a testament to both defenses. They came in dialed in and ready to play. I think had a really good idea what the other team wanted to do, and are doing a good job of stopping it. It'll be interesting to see, what Alabama does with these last 35 seconds of the first half. It's also going to be very interesting to see the adjustments that both teams make going into the second.
Well, there you see the numbers for Dan Norris. He's been disruptive tonight. 3 tackles, 3 for a loss, and a pair of sacks as Day looking, pass over the middle, and it is caught, but a huge hit on Joe Idle. He got left out to dry.
Well, he did. Clayton comes up, puts a big hit on him, but was going to knock the ball loose, and he did a good job of holding on to it.
Day to throw, and he will throw it away, trying to preserve their last 2 timeouts. 27 seconds on the clock.
All right, 27 on the clock, 2nd and 10. Expect to see Doug Day try to push this ball down the field, get at least into field goal range, if not put 6 up.
Empty backfield, Day, 4-man rush. He wants a shot of his own. He's got a man. Joe Idle, touchdown, Crimson Tide.
And Joe Idle just smooth burnt the Clemson defense deep on that one. I tell you what, we've heard this Alabama receiver corps refer to themselves as the NWO, an old wrestling faction. Well, we're seeing it tonight, man. This is a tough defense, and Joe Idle just made that dude look like he was standing still.
We said it in the first quarter. Alabama has come to play tonight, and these 2 teams have been geared up and ready for this game. Pound for pound, they are matching each other.
Yeah, and that's the thing. With 21 seconds left here, I'm not sure how fancy Clemson's going to try to get.
Read option keeper, Slade driven down in the backfield for a loss of 2 by Jeremy Mosley, and both teams saying we're okay going in the half, tied up at 13 apiece.
Well, these 2 teams have played. This has been a rough first half of football for both sides.
So at the end of the first half of play in what has been a defensive battle, but glimmer of hope, both offenses able to nail a long touchdown pass towards the end of the half, and yet neither team, Matt, as we go into the half, neither team has really been able to break this deadlock. Neither team has been able to establish a true edge over the other.
No, and that's the thing. I mentioned it earlier. This is kind of like a couple of heavyweight fighters going at it. It's just punch, counter punch, and they're throwing haymakers, there towards the end of the first half when they got those 2 long touchdown passes, but the defense is the story in this game. As many plays as these teams are running, their yards per play attempted is not very high right now. These defenses, they're smothering each other for the most part. Going into this second half, Clemson gets the ball first. You expect Clemson to try to come out and do something, maybe switch it up a little bit, be different. But I tell you what, man, I'm not sure how this one's going to go.
You look at the 2 offenses, and both teams were able to break through and get to 200 total yards in the first half. Both teams have had the ball for about 9 minutes. Neither team has had a turnover, and so when you've got the scales pretty much balanced across the board, something has got to give and tip in one of these two teams' favor.
Well, you got to think at this point, David, that if someone makes a mistake, if there's a turnover, there's an interception, there's a lost fumble, something like that, and that other team can capitalize on it, that may be all the difference this game needs as close as these teams are playing each other.
Clemson will start with the ball first, and they will start out of the pistol to begin the second half. Handoff, Jones right up the middle, and he runs into a sea of white jerseys.
Jones not able to get going right there, and that's, David Ware is only his third tackle tonight. He had a line in the sports book tonight. I believe it was like over at 10.5.
Yeah, 3-1 odds on whether or not David Ware would be able to get over 10.5 tackles here tonight, and a lot of people took that as Slay on the quarterback keeper. He only gets a yard as he tried to scramble out of danger.
It looked a little slow coming out of the chutes on that one. I don't know, this offense, they're running, like I said, they're running a lot of plays. It's just that these defenses are annihilating each other right now.
3rd and 9, Clemson 3 of 7 on third downs here tonight. They go to the halfback screen, and Jones got run down by Corey Dobbins and William Huddleston right back to the line of scrimmage, and a 3-and-out for Clemson on their opening possession.
Enough can't be said about this defensive line of the Alabama Crimson Tide and how much work they're putting in right now. A, to put pressure on Will Slate, and B, on that screenplay to run Jones down from behind. Not depend on the downfield defenders, but to stop him, from behind.
Emilio Gonzalez on the return. He's able to get it out to the 47-yard line. So we will get our first look at the half at this Alabama offense and see whether or not they can find a solution to this Clemson defense. And to do so, Day will begin in the gun. 4 receivers on the field, all in tight, and Day to throw. Able to take a shot to the right side. There's Trip Warren out across to the 31-yard line.
And that's not a bad way to start. Throw it to Trip Warren on the corner route. He does a good job hauling that thing in, and I like that Day throws it early. Mm-hmm. He doesn't wait for him to get to the side. He throws it when he gets open. Warren, he gets hit, takes the contact, but that's a big first down play. And Alabama's down near at the 31-yard line. They're already getting really close to scoring position.
Single back set. Warren, the receiver, in motion as Day makes an adjustment. Trips to the left. 5-step drop. Day dancing in the pocket. Checks it down for Moon, who had it in his hands, but drops it as he heard footsteps coming.
Moon had it, but I think you're right. I think he knew that there was a big hit coming in, and he took his eyes off the ball about a second too quick.
Out of the gun with Moon to his right. Day, blitz coming. And Day stands in and delivers a strike for Idle, who is stopped immediately by Maddox.
Wow. Joe Idle, I don't think, is afraid of any kind of hit that anybody can put on him. We've seen him get head hunted by Clayton. We've seen him get dropped there by Jake Maddox, and it's still just able to hold on to that ball.
And Jake Moon fighting through contact to get the first down. As he saw the numbers, Idle's been a big part of this offense. 5 catches, 100 yards for him and a touchdown. Jake Moon's trying to get going, but it is rough. 14 carries, only 35 yards.
Yeah, but he fought hard to pick up that first down. You got to give Moon credit. He's going against one of the more talented defenses in the league, if not the most talented, and he's just trying to keep his team in it.
Day dancing around in the pocket. He's going to check it down to Moon, who got clotheslined by Josh Clayton.
Yeah, Clayton came out there. Moon sees it coming, and Moon does the smart thing. He covers the ball up, drops his head, and Clayton just kind of clotheslines him there. So Moon felt that one, but he does pick up 7 yards.
So 2nd down and 3 to go. Ball spotted just inside the 10-yard line. Zachary Carter checks into the backfield. Clemson showing blitz here on 2nd and short. Read option keeper. Day able to get the edge, but cannot outrun Deontay Shields. 3rd and 4.
He does a good job getting to the edge, but I would rather see him head farther towards the sideline, not try to cut it back inside so quickly. Just try to pick it up gradually. You're not turning the corner there, man. You're not a running quarterback per se.
Empty backfield here for Alabama on 3rd down, and Day going to try to use his arm. He'll look to throw to the end zone. Touchdown, Alabama!
Lewis Simmons, the walk-on, comes down with a big catch there at the back of the end zone for the Alabama Crimson Tide. I'll tell you what, man. Doug Day right now is having a night. He is throwing the ball all over the field. He's using all of his receivers that he can find, and Alabama is not slowing down here in the second half.
Lewis Simmons, the fourth receiver on the depth chart, able to get the touchdown here and put Alabama ahead to begin this second half. And so, Matt, both defenses have had their day, and at some point you've got to think that these drives and these offensive possessions will take their toll on each defense, that at some point they're really going to start wearing down, and the big plays on the offenses will start to come to daylight.
Well, the biggest thing about both of these defenses is there's a lot of depth. Okay, they have a lot of players. You know, they've got a lot of guys on their squad. So, you know, they're going to get tired, but I don't know they're going to get tired as quickly.
Well, Slay's taking a deep shot and a jump ball for Dorian Chase Miller, and Emilio Gonzalez able to break it up.
Emilio Gonzalez was with him right there step for step with DCM. Felt like it looked like he felt like it was going to be a high ball, going to be a big one coming in. So he jumps and makes a great play on the ball.
Well, Dommins forcing Slay to get it out early here as he has to check it down, find C.J. Banks. 6 yards there, 3rd and 4.
All right, and Alabama, I expect pressure here, boy. I mean, they are all crowd. There are a lot of guys crowding the line.
Halfback screen. And turning around to Chase was Addock, but he didn't have to worry because Jeremy Mosley was there to keep him short of the sticks.
Well, he kind of just came in there and caterwauled him sideways, turned him around. No chance for that to go anywhere. Another punt by Clemson.
Another 3 and out and a punt by Clemson. Back-to-back drives where that has ended as Moon on the return here. Spinning through, hurdles a defender, and then gets out to the 45-yard line, but a flag was thrown late, and a flipping call here will bring it back.
Yeah.
Receiving team.
Well, Dylan McKenzie just gets a little outside himself right there. Kind of maybe felt like Moon might be fixing to spring one. And, you know, it's an illegal block in the back. Going to drop this one back to the about 31.5-yard line.
Call it the 31 officially, and so a single back set here, but they're going to motion the fullback into the backfield. They give it to Zachary Carter, and Carter is driven backwards for a loss of 4.
Well, and that just went absolutely nowhere. Deontay Shields is I mean, his 4th tackle for loss on the night. These outside runs by Alabama are having a hard time getting going. And you don't want to put yourself behind the sticks here. 2nd and 14 for the Crimson Tide.
Day out of the pistol set. Carter still in the backfield. They feed it to him. Zachary Carter able to find a crease. Gets 5 yards out of it. So it's 3rd and 8. And for Alabama right now offensively, the way that began, things could be worse.
Well, they could be worse, and I think they caught them sleeping a little bit there. I don't think they expected another run right away, able to pick up the 5 yards.
So 3rd and 8. Day out of the gun. Short pass over the middle. The tight end Price made the grab, but he's a yard shy of the marker.
Well, Carson Price does a good job of hauling that thing in, you know, but not real good. He's about a yard, like I said, a yard short of where he needed to be at. Could have pushed that route a little further and picked up the first.
So this punt is away as the Clemson defense gets a 3 and out of their own here in the second half. And the return out to about your 36-yard line for Laird Olive. And Matt, you got to feel like that's a missed opportunity for Alabama. You scored on your first drive of the second half. Your defense forces a 3 and out again. You had an opportunity to build a 2-score lead, and Clemson slammed the door shut on it.
Well, it may be a missed opportunity, but you've got to give Clemson a lot of credit right there for doing what they needed to do. It's also, I wasn't a huge fan of the play call.
Pass over the middle here and a first down for C.J. Banks. And man, you got to be a fan of that play calling.
Oh, you do there. I mean, it's Will Slay comes out and knows, all right, I've got to get the ball out fast. I've got to get rid of it quick because this pressure is coming after me. So what does he do? He throws this quick, you know, little dig right to C.J. Banks. He's able to pick up extra yards for the first down. Expect Will Slay, you know, if they can stay with that kind of a game plan, that kind of a mindset, they might be able to move the ball a good bit better.
Well, they get across midfield, counter run. Dane Jones threw out a stiff arm, but then is caught from behind by Kevin Stanley.
Well, Kevin Stanley's a free safety in the backfield pretty quickly on that play. And he does a good job of chasing Jones down from behind to force the loss of yards.
Stanley's first career tackle. He wasn't really able to do much a week ago as Slay coming over the middle and reaching for the first down was Dustin Ellis.
Ellis does a good job there trying to stretch, trying to fight forward to get there, just not able to quite make the first down. 3rd and 1 for the Clemson Tigers.
2-by-2 look. Slay looking, goes over the middle, and on the slant pattern there, Mike Ruby for 15 yards.
They're doing a good job here using these inside routes, the quick slants, the quick ends, the digs, things like that, to try to get this pressure to back off a little bit if they can. You know, to force Alabama to drop a few more people into coverage, to keep a few people back off the line, because right now, you know, up until this point, the pressure has been killing Will Slay all night long.
The line in the sportsbook tonight was for David Ware, 3-1 odds, whether or not he'd get up over 10.5 tackles. Well, Jeremy Mosley has 10 tackles tonight, so maybe the line should have been on him, as Slay is sacked. Will Stills and this Alabama pass rush finally got to him.
Yeah, Will Stills does a good job finally getting in there after him. Brings up 2nd and 16. Just when Clemson's starting to make headway, and they're starting, you know, to get some things going their way to try to come back and tie this ball game up, Alabama's defensive line makes another play.
Backed up now to the Alabama 29-yard line. Long 2nd down for the Tigers. Slay to throw. 4-man rush. Pass over the middle. A leaping grab by Dane Jones. Makes it 3rd and 10.
All right, and then Dane Jones does a good job of just bringing that in. You know, he has to, has to lay out for it. 3rd and 10 here for Clemson, though. Be interesting to see what they dial up.
2-by-2 look. Slay, pressure coming, dancing to the end zone, and knocked down in a leaping effort by Richie Carrion.
Richie Carrion does a great job right there. You know, Richie Carrion had an interception last week, and it was going for the second one of the season. This right there just wasn't able to haul it down.
Had a pick 6 last week as Frazier Flores from 40 yards out puts 3 on the board to make it a 4-point game. But the secondary, we talked about it, is good. Both Carrion and Gonzalez had a pick last week. Carrion's a pick 6, helping to try and spurn that comeback for Alabama a week ago. And then both Carrion and Gonzalez had 2 passes deflected last week. As Carrion breaking through and able to get it out to the 29-yard line. So now Clemson's offense, they were able to come away with points. Wasn't a touchdown, but they came away with points in a 1-possession game. And look at the 2 offenses. They've been even because of the 2 defenses.
Yeah, it's been very similar. Nobody lighting the world on fire here on offense tonight, but they're doing what they have to do to try to keep this thing close.
Quick pass over the middle, and a gain of 5.
I like how he takes the step to the right and then just fires a bullet to trip Warren there for the 5-yard pickup. He knows he can't afford to lollipop that thing.
So the give. Jake Moon running right and hit hard. Coming up to make the stop was Ty Perry.
Yeah, Ty Perry, this is just one of those things that he does from that outside linebacker spot. Had 12 tackles, 1 for loss last week, and putting up big numbers again tonight.
3rd and 4. 2 tight ends on the field to the right of the formation, 2 receivers to the left. Moon the carry, trying to run it up the middle, and ultimately he is stopped well short of the marker by Bill McAllister.
I feel like Alabama outfoxed themselves right there a little bit. Tried to be a little too fancy, tried a little bit too much of a trick. Oh, we're going to catch Clemson sleeping by running this quick draw here on 3rd down, but Clemson plays very fundamentally sound defense and does not allow Moon to get there.
Olive on the return, fighting hard, gets it out to about the 41-yard line here. And Matt, this game, you said it at the half, it's been a tale of the defenses, and they have been the story of the game, and it's been much of the same throughout the 3rd quarter.
Well, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I mean, both these teams are continuing to do exactly what they have to on defense.
Well, Slay's got plenty of time on 1st down and finds Dorian Chase Miller breaking free, and he'll get the 1st down.
But the Clemson outside tackle, the left tackle there, does a pretty good job of chop blocking. I think it was Corey Dobbins there on the right side, and kind of gets him off his feet. That bought Slay the time that he needed.
Play fake, Slay steps back into the pocket, the pass over the middle. It's a rocket for Mike Ruby, and he has to take that one into his chest.
He does, because I don't think he was going to catch that one with his hands. I think he had to, like you said, let his body block that and just try to hold on to it, because Slay fired a laser right there.
Well, that pass was thrown behind Emilio Gonzalez, who was out in front of Ruby. If he could have turned around and reached back, that's a pick.
Yeah, but with all your momentum going forward like that, it's such a difficult thing to do.
Out to the 29-yard line, new set of downs in an empty backfield. Slay over the middle, and a big hit on Dustin Ellis. He got knocked 3 feet in the air.
Well, that was David Ware who put that hit on him right there. It was a 1st down, but Dustin Ellis kind of helicoptered to the ground right there.
Empty backfield again here for Slay. pass over the middle and off the hands of Mike Ruby.
Well, Ruby, I think, heard Big heard Big Mosley coming in. Going to try to knock him off of it right there. Jeremy Mosley coming in to lay a big hit and forces the drop reception.
Jones getting the carry, and he got stopped. He lost the football, but he is fortunate that he has got somebody on this Clemson team looking out for him. Aaron Bennett was able to come up and make the grab, a member of this offensive line, but Ware knocked it out.
Well, not only does he get knocked loose, but then an Alabama player knees it midair and forces it forward. So just a bad break for Alabama, but some good fortune there for Clemson. 3rd and 4 could have been a lot worse.
A member of the offensive line able to come up with it. So 3rd and 4, nearing the end of the 3rd quarter. Speed option. Slay cuts it back upfield, try to cut it back out towards Jones, but the defense swarms and forces 4th down.
Zachary Carter in there leading the charge. Comes in and just hangs on and won't let go right there. Does a great job. Going to force Clemson to try to take the field goal here, make this a 1-point game.
This will be from 31 yards away for Frazier Flores. And Flores right down the middle with it, 20-19 our score.
All right, I mean, and I'm pretty sure if they put the stats up right now and we see the total offense and all those things here that it's going to look very, very similar for both sides.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there's only 1 point difference on the scoreboard right now, so it should look similar.
On the return, Trip Warren able to get it out to about the 26-yard line as last couple drives have ended in a punt for Alabama. We want to give a shout out to everybody in the live chat here. CFSL Alabama time, Zach Stone, David Ware, Ted Stern, Cyrock, Corey Dobbins, Dane Jones, Jeremy Mosley, Allie Peters, Dalton Meadows, Josh Clayton, Ty Perry, and we give a shout out to all the rest of you as well for making us a part of your Wednesday night as Jake Moon gets 16 yards on 1st down.
Jake Moon does a good job there, and that's one thing Alabama's going to want to do is keeping him involved because this Clemson defense, as good as they are and as athletic as they are and as deep as they are, going into the 4th quarter, if Moon can keep them running sideline to sideline and these receivers keep them running deep routes, they're going to get tired.
Well, at the end of 3, Alabama has got a slim lead. Can they hold on to it? Stay tuned. You're watching the CFSL on PX1 Sports on YouTube Live. Start of the 4th quarter, 3-step drop and a quick pass put behind his intended target in idle, but he can't hold on to it, and that brings up 2nd down.
Well, he tried to throw it behind him because the defender was a little bit in front of him, but Idle not able to hold that thing down. Just good coverage by Clemson.
Draw play here in Jake Moon trying to find anything up front for him to run through, but he gets dropped at the line of scrimmage by Bill McAllister. Long 3rd down now.
You can run through a lot of things. Bill McAllister is not one of them.
I wouldn't recommend trying. No. 3rd and 10, pistol set. Day. Pressure coming off the edge, and he has to check it down for Carter as Maddox on the corner blitz got to him.
It was a great play on the defensive play call by Clemson there to bring Maddox on the corner blitz. They, to his credit, saw him coming and had to just get rid of it, but he didn't have time to find anything downfield.
It looked like he was trying to wind up deep, and maybe the hit from Maddox forced it short, and Carter, being the close receiver, just plucked it out of the air. Either way, it gets a yard. Clemson's defense, they hold up, they force the punt, and now they'll start from their own 34.
All right, this Clemson offense has been able to get 2 field goals in a row here. Want to look to try to continue to have some semblance of that success.
Well, Slay's going to take a shot, and he drops it in for Dorian Chase Miller, and he'll flip the field to get it out to the 32.
He does a good job. Dorian Chase Miller just gets behind Kevin Stanley right there. The free safety not able to keep up with the big fast receiver, and Clemson, uses one play to get way down here into Alabama territory.
From the 32-yard line of the Crimson Tide, Slay looking, middle of the field, Chase Miller again, but he paid a price for hauling it in.
He did it. He caught a big ball over the middle there, but you know what they say about that? You get hung out to dry. You don't know what's coming. You're too busy looking for the ball coming in. You don't see Zachary Carter coming across from the other side trying to dislodge that thing from you. Credit to DCM for holding on to it. Man, that was a hit.
but it does put them inside the red zone. Now, Clemson tonight, every trip they've had in the red zone, it's ended in a field goal. Will this drive be any different as Jones losing a yard on first down?
Well, if first down's any indication, this Alabama defense has no intention of loosening up at all here in the red zone.
Very much, Matt. You mentioned it earlier. Clemson being dealt a taste of their own medicine from a week ago and what they did to Texas in between the 20s.
Well, and to be fair, these teams have done it to each other. You know what I mean? Well, look at this.
Speed option. Slay keeps it. Gets 7. 3rd and 4.
All right. Well, again, Slade does a good job kind of making lemons out of lemonade there. There's really nothing there for him. And he runs the option. It picks up a few yards, but 3rd and 4 here. This is where this Alabama defensive line has been eating all night long.
From the 9. 2-by-2 set. Slay to throw. Over the middle. Touchdown, Dane Jones.
All right. Well, finally, Will Slay able to get some protection enough, and Dane Jones coming out of the backfield does exactly what he needs to do to get the touchdown. And now Clemson's going to go for 2, try to make this a 7-point lead.
They're going to come out and single back set. 2 tight ends. 3-step drop. Slay to the end zone. Chase Miller holds on. And we've got a 7-point game with Clemson wrestling back the lead.
Well, just a good drive there by Clemson. They took what the defense gave them. And I tell you what, Alabama, they played good defense all night long, and they just got caught up in some plays they weren't ready for on that drive. They got plenty of time here. They got all the time they need. They just got to get their offense moving again.
Richie Carrion hoping to help with that, and he's going to give Doug Day pretty good field position here. 7 minutes on the clock, no time right now for Alabama to panic as they'll come out to their own 36-yard line.
No, absolutely not. Doug Day has had a good day all day long. Let's see if he can finish this thing up and get this offense moving again.
Day to throw, 3-man rush, has plenty of time, but it ran out because Bill McAllister broke through the double team to get the sack.
Well, big Bill McAllister here in his senior season, he's trying to make, one more big push for these Clemson Tigers, trying to be the first ever back-to-back national champions. And Bill McAllister there on first down fights off the double team to take Day down in the backfield.
Clemson came into tonight a 6-game winning streak. They've won 10 of their last 11. Their only loss a season ago was against your Auburn Tiger squad in one of the few Tiger Bowls that we had a season ago. And so a long second down and a single back set, 5-step drop. Day feeling the pressure coming, and he has to throw it away.
Now Clemson is dialing up their pressure. They're starting to send their D linemen, this 3-3-5 type scheme that Clemson's running here, they're starting to send extra guys trying to get after Day to pressure him.
Empty backfield. Day trying to come up with an answer. Dancing, steps up. Couldn't connect, though, with the receiver downfield. 4th and 18.
Yeah, that was just a bad drive for Alabama, and you got to give credit to that Clemson defense for dialing up the pressure a little bit and not allowing Doug Day to have any extra time back there.
So the punt is away, and this is going to give Clemson good field position. Laird Olive on the return, able to get it out to about the 47-yard line. And Matt, we're still waiting on a turnover, and if ever there was time for one for Alabama, this would be it.
This would be it, and they had their chance. They did force one, knock one loose, just weren't able to fall on top of it. And the way both these defenses are hitting, I'm surprised. Honestly, we haven't seen more of those.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Alabama, they've got the personnel on defense to create turnovers. It's just, can they put themselves in a position, and can they fool senior quarterback Will Slay into throwing a bad ball?
That's the real key right there. You saw the numbers, 33 of 42 passing, over 300 yards, and he's got a couple of touchdowns here tonight. And Slay going to air it out to the right side. Pass is caught by C.J. Banks.
Well, he just throws that out there, has a couple of receivers, and C.J. does a good job of hauling that thing in.
Last week, Banks had 2 catches for 12 yards and a touchdown. He's been an integral part here tonight as Jones trying to get the carry outside to the left. Mosley, the first man there, and the rest of the Tide crashes down upon him.
Well, does a good job of slowing him down, and then the cavalry comes in to drop him. 3rd and 3. Stop would be huge here for the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Clemson is 5 of 13 on 3rd downs. Alabama showing blitz. And they bring in a huge hit on Dane Jones by David Ware.
Oh, and David Ware with his 7th tackle first for a loss comes in and just bodies Dane Jones right there in the middle of the tiger paw.
This Alabama defense, both defenses really, the big hits have been really the sparks and the fireworks, as you said, that we have really seen tonight. And we're hoping that'll fire up his offense to try to tie things up as Gonzalez gets it out to the 22.
I'll tell you what now, Clemson not used to, being on the receiving end a lot of some of these hits. Clemson's been the one dishing out the punishment for the last season plus. Alabama giving them a dose of their own medicine right now. Now they're just trying to get back to a tie ball game.
Day, quick throw over the middle, and he will find Idle out close to the first down marker. Still a little bit to go, but Idle 6 catches, 110 yards, and a touchdown for him tonight.
Yeah, and Doug Day got 232 passing yards, I believe it was, tonight. Thrown 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Looked very good.
Under center, 5-step drop. Day over the middle, and the costly turnover here and into the hands of Ty Perry.
Well, Ty Perry sat there in the middle, was looking for that slant route, looking for that little inside throw. It does a great job of reading Doug Day's eyes, and the big man hauls it down and takes off. It's a turnover for Clemson. That's not what Alabama wanted right there, because now they're in danger of going down 2 scores.
A very costly turnover here for Alabama on their own side of the field, and wide receiver screen there for Dustin Ellis, and he gets 3.
Well, I tell you what, they're calling me the jinx now in chat.
It goes around.
Well,
it changes hands
just
every
fine.
season.
It doesn't really, if they think I'm the one that got him beat, it's not my problem.
Slay to throw, going short to the right side, and a stiff arm or 2 will spring Banks down the sideline before he's pushed out of bounds.
Yeah, and Clemson now, with the time remaining, I don't expect them to try to take any big shots. I don't expect them to try to get too fancy here. I expect them to try to eat up yards, maybe eat up time if they can, kick the field goal, if that's what they have to do, and go up 2 scores on Alabama.
Inside of the midway point here through this 4th quarter, it's been a great one. Slay tucking it, running it, slips a tackle, fighting, stretching, and gets a yard for his trouble.
Yeah, he fought and scratched and clawed. He's been 11 times for 7 yards tonight. If that tells you what this Alabama defense has done all night long. But, boy, Alabama needs a turnover right here.
2nd and 9. Slay makes an adjustment at the line of scrimmage. Read option keeper, Will Slay. Fighting, hit hard, though. He'll get 6, 3rd and 3.
All right, Kevin Stanley does a good job coming up and finishing him off there. 3rd and 3. Again, a field goal is better than a touchdown, but you don't want to go down 2 scores this late in the game.
Read option keeper, Slay with an open lane. Touchdown, Clemson.
Well, it's just hard to stop them that deep in the end zone, And when they get into that area where that read option comes into play, Will Slay, he showed us for 4 years he's not afraid to take that thing in, and he does exactly that.
The extra point to make this a 14-point game, and Matt, an interception that late in the game, and especially one that leads for points like that, it can be difficult to overcome. And maybe, Matt, that is the difference between the freshman quarterback in Doug Day and the grizzled veteran in Will Slay.
Well, there have been some drives tonight where Doug Day, as good as he's been all night long for a freshman coming into a huge game like this, where he has looked a touch rattled on a few plays, to where and he just, and he hasn't cost his team anything. The one interception was bad, but it was really better defense by Clemson. It's just that, Slay's not making those same mistakes right now.
Single back set, 3-step drop. Day over the middle, trying to get it back into the hands of his playmaker and Joe Idle. But Deontay Shields is there to knock it down.
All right, and Doug Day at this point, I think, is going to have to try to find a way. We see Clemson line up with three guys deep. They're going to try to limit any kind of shots that they take.
Well, out of the empty backfield, a pass into really tight coverage. Dangerous throw, and Trip Warren, you saw him there reach up with that second hand to make sure he secures it to get close to the marker.
Yeah, Doug Day not afraid to take those risks, take those chances. He's got the arm to do it, so he's going to have to not be afraid here.
3rd and inches, Day to throw, dancing in the pocket, he ran backwards, and it cost Alabama yardage. He loses 11.
That's, and the pressure just gets to him right there. There's really nothing else Doug Day can do. Everybody's covered. There's nobody there. He can throw it out of bounds and maybe try to go for it on 4th. I don't know if they would even want to do that this early, but no, they don't. They're going to punt and trust the defense, which has been so good all night long.
So a 3-and-out here for Alabama inside of 3 minutes to go. And this punt fielded from the 36-yard line out across to midfield. Laird Olive with the return. And Clemson, it's been a lot more than I think they bargained for coming into tonight.
I think Clemson respected Alabama coming into this game, but I don't think they were ready for the defensive performance that they were going to have to deal with. You know, this is a Clemson team that put up, you know, big points on Texas last week. Well, they're coming in here to Alabama. You know, they've here into the fourth quarter, you know, this is when they first got their first lead.
Yeah. 2nd down and 7 following the 3-yard run, and time will run down near the 2-minute mark as Jones getting the carry, and he's caught from behind by Addock. Gain of 2, first time out of the night taken by the Crimson Tide.
Yeah, and Alabama going to try to take timeouts. This is 3rd and 5. You know, if they can get a stop here, you know, I don't know. Clemson may go for it if they do.
Slade a throw, and he is sacked. Huddleston got through the force. 4th and 13. 1 timeout now remains for the Crimson Tide with an even 2 minutes on the clock.
Well, big-time players make big-time plays, and Huddleston does exactly that. Gets them out of field goal range, out of going for it range, and forces them to punt.
So with 3-and-out, but a very long field to go as Jake Moon's able to get it back to the 25-yard line. And at this point, Matt, you've got 1 timeout. You're Alabama. You need Doug Day to start really pushing the ball downfield.
And he's got the weapons to do it with, and that's the thing. He's going to have to put these guys to use. He's going to have to test these Clemson corners.
Out of the gun, Day standing in, throwing to the sideline, and he is picked off. He tried to force it, and Caleb Braden comes up with the interception.
Well, Braden just in the right place there at the right time. He tried to throw it to highball it, but Braden able to jump in front of that route and take it down. And, you know, I mean, again, valiant effort here by Alabama, and the game is not over yet. But I think we are seeing the differences in a freshman quarterback and a senior quarterback, especially late in the game.
They're late. Day knew he needed to pick up yardage, and it looked like he tried to force it closer to the first down markers. It's a gain of 5 for Dame Jones. Alabama now out of timeouts entirely, and Slay, quarterback keeper, stood up, and they're going to say he got the first down in his fight with Zachary Carter to get it.
And Alabama is still hitting. Alabama is still coming out trying to knock the ball loose. They're still laying the wood. There is no give up in this team.
Carter, his 13th tackle on the night as we near the 1-minute mark. Clemson to give Jones a counter, stiff arm, and bottle up ultimately. But at this point, it's looking to be that's all she wrote.
Yeah, I think that's about it. You know, Clemson at this point can probably just kneel it out if they want to, and it looks like maybe what they're going to do.
It looks like that's indeed what they will do. Valiant effort by Alabama on the road in a hostile environment with a young quarterback.
Absolutely.
And what a show they put on tonight. But Clemson, their crown, they're able to defend just a little longer.
Well, Clemson, you know, got more than they bargained for tonight. Credit to them to be able to stick with it and fight their way through it and pick up the win. But you can't take anything away from this Alabama squad tonight. They were game. They showed up to play. They took a 7-point lead. It held that lead deep into the game. You know, it just mistakes caught up with them there late in the game. The mistakes that they weren't making early, and but this game, it shows it's a 14-point game on the scoreboard. Felt a whole lot closer for most of this one.
7 games, that's the winning streak for Clemson. Now we've got a CFSL triple header tomorrow night. Ohio State taking on the Bobcats, followed by the Bowling Green Falcons on the road to take on USC, and we'll wrap it all up with the Northern Illinois Huskies going on the road to College Station to take on the Texas A&M Aggies. It all starts at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time over on Twitch. Clemson, they defend their crown 34-20 with the win here at home. For Matt, I'm David. We'll see you back tomorrow night.